Good afternoon. I'm Lucas Panzica from the 104.5 The Zone studios. We are now 3 hours away from the official start of the NFL's new league year. Also means the start of free agency. The deals that you've seen that have been agreed to in the legal tampering period can become official at 3 p.m. Central. The latest with the Titans, per Diana Rossini, agreeing to terms with Washington guard Sadiq Charles on a one-year deal with max value of $2.5 million. Rossini also reports the Titans are expected to have interest in San Francisco defensive tackle Eric Armstead. Adam Schefter reports that former Dolphins linebacker Jerome Baker will visit the Titans tomorrow. In NFL news today, the Ravens are trading starting right tackle Morgan Moses and pick number 134 to the Jets in exchange for pick 112 and 218. Also, the Texans are trading defensive tackle Malik Collins to the San Francisco 49ers. Nashville Soccer Club is at Inter Miami tonight. It's the second leg in the CONCACAF Champions Cup round of 16. The aggregate score is tied at 2-2. Kickoff at 7:15 on FS2. The Nashville Predators look to continue an 11-game point streak at the Jets tonight. Puck drop at 6:30. And the SEC tournament gets underway at Bridgestone Arena tonight with Vanderbilt taking on Arkansas at 6, followed by Missouri versus Georgia at 8:30. You can hear the Learfield call of those games here on The Zone. 3HL will be live at Bridgestone Arena this afternoon from 3 to 6. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Woo! NFL League year is set to reset in just a couple of hours, actually less than 2 hours. It'll be a Happy New Year. So we should play Auld Lang Syne or something as we Auld Lang Syne off on the show today because, boy, everything is happening. So all these deals that are reported will be consummated, and all the guys who are – I saw Diana Rossini tweeted something about Derrick Henry when this process was going on, that the Ravens were going to get the Titans running back Derrick Henry, and somebody said, no, ex-running back. Well, no, not till the end of the year. That's when everything consummates. So today at 3 o'clock our time, all these deals become official. So you'll get real numbers on a lot of these contracts and that kind of thing. This is where I am as covering this team. I'm sitting writing my notes, spring training, so my son is, of course, sitting right next to me. And I just start laughing. Huh?
Yeah, your son, I was sitting right next to you.
Yes. So he's sitting there and he's, watching some video on YouTube, and I'm looking at free agents and I'm seeing if the Titans have done anything today, which no word of anything today. They did sign a guard, a guy who's played a bunch of positions. Oh, you're holding up your hand. Did they just do something?
Yes, they did. They're re-signing Julius Chestnut.
He was a free agent? Oh, he was restricted, I guess?
He was ER. He was 2 years in the league.
He was on injured reserve after the third game last year.
So he's ERFA, meaning 2 years in the league, which all they have to do is offer you the minimum contract, and you can't shop it. You're just on the team still.
Yeah. But so, I was a 2-year contract guy.
Yeah.
Since I went last round. So the rules still haven't changed for me. They have all your rights, so you're screwed. Even if just imagine if Chestnut started, they still wouldn't have to do anything but exactly what they did. That was me.
You know what's next?
I felt like I was bamboozled.
Oh, sure.
All because of where I went in the draft. So, with him, undrafted. You get screwed, man. You can never get to the payday if hey, man, it's the luck of the draw with injuries and everything.
And he's getting a 1-year deal. Obviously, that's what he'll get. Then he's a restricted free agent because he still only has 3 years in his league.
That's exactly what happened to me.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Meanwhile, I was having Pro Bowl behind my name.
Right.
So it's like, well, dang, this is 2 years now. You haven't taken care of me. And then the third year, they franchise tagged me. And I go, okay, enough is enough. I'm out. So I held out. Yeah, that was 3 years in a row. See, that's what I'm saying. You can get screwed by the rules if you have early success. Watch this. Everybody make sure you time up your success.
100%. Go slow.
So that's, hey, man, it is what it is, but that's the business side of the NFL. But, hey, Chestnut, not only will he be a special teamer, though, valuable guy, glue guy.
Yep.
But he can be their downhill, 1 yard, I'm a blow you up guy, as well as he could play fullback, tailback, and a special teamer. So I value him. That was one of Mickey's crushes, and he's turned into a quality role player for the Titans. So I really like guys like that. People don't understand how valuable they are when you are a teammate with a guy like that. Because he's doing a lot of the grunt work and stuff that, you're not going to be doing, and you respect what they do and how they got into the league, and then how he can make a role for himself if somebody, gets injured. He may have a bigger role than you expect, and he will show out. Uh-oh, breaking news!
What? More?
The Los Angeles Chargers are releasing wide receiver Mike Williams.
Oh, so they're about to release both Bosa, Mack, Williams, and Keenan Allen. They have to, or extend somebody. They got to, because the rumors out there. And I think a lot of people are waiting to see what they do with Mack and Bosa, because I'd be trying to trade them, but they may not be able to do it because everybody knows they're going to cut them.
I got an hour and 55 minutes. This goes back to that end of the new year. You got to be cap solvent. Yeah. So they were the one team that woke up this morning with we got a lot of work to do today. Yeah. I think everybody else has kind of gotten where they need to get, not the Chargers.
Yeah. What were Mike Williams' stats? I know he had some injury history, I think, with his back a little while back, but I'm probably staying away from both Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. But Bosa and Mack, you got to kind of consider. I think Bosa's younger, so I would go more him than Mack. Mack's getting up there. But, I would be interested in those guys. I saw the Titans were interested in bringing in some DN, some pass rushers, D tackles, Armstead as well as Chase Young. I would put them at the top of the list too. So Bosa anyway.
Mike Williams, since 2017, he has played in 88 games. He has 4,806 yards and 31 touchdowns. The last 2 years, in 2022, he had 895 yards and 4 touchdowns in 13 games, and last year only 3 games with 249 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, I tell you, I thought Mike Williams had some injury history that wasn't to my liking for the price he's probably going to be asking for. But Keenan Allen is quality. I just think he's kind of like a D-Hop for me. So then I don't feel like neither one of those guys.
Game's not based on speed.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, I just, as much as I think they're a good player, I just, I think Mike Williams going to be overpriced. He's going to have to, I would probably give him barely over league minimum, like $4 million maybe.
You want your Mike Williams stat of the day?
Oh, what's
he was taken 7th overall in the draft 2017 behind John Ross. I'm sorry, he was after Corey Davis and John Ross. Remember, there were 3 receivers taken in a row. He's the last man standing. John Ross has been gone for a while. Mm-hmm. Corey Davis retired last year. Those guys were taken 5th, 6th, and 7th, if I'm not mistaken, in the draft that year.
Man, the receiver draft is deep this year. Shoot, we may be able to get the top of the second round guys just as good as that 3.
Well, it was Corey Davis 5, Jamal Adams got taken 6, then Mike Williams, then Christian McCaffrey, then John Ross. So they went close to each other, but not consecutively.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I think this year you can get second round picks just as good as they were coming out in the first round.
Heck yeah.
So that, yeah.
You know who was taken 10th that year?
2007, no.
Patrick Mahomes.
Oh.
They traded up. They traded up to get him, right?
Yeah. And everybody thought Andy Reid was crazy because he was the guy who wanted him. Like, why are we going to do that when we got Alex Smith?
And they let Mahomes sit. And what is Coach Matthews, he says soakers, the guys who aren't playing, they'd soak for a while. Coach Matthews, they let him soak for 1 year, made the playoffs with Alex Smith. And we're like, well, it's time to start the plan.
The backdrop, what I recall is that they had the playoffs sewn up, and Mahomes got to start the last game.
He did.
Of the regular season.
Yep.
And he went out there and balled, and they go, uh-oh. And I was like, uh-oh. And that's when they came back to Alex Smith for the playoffs. But they got to see him from beginning to end instead of spot playing, which is what he was doing before that. And they go, I think we've got something here. He's exactly what we thought he was going to be. And he's learned some tricks of the trade, and now we see what we've gotten here to where we're at today. So, which I think they restructured his deal to make some cap space. I think it was $21-something million of cap space he made space for there with the Chiefs. So, yeah, he's going to go down as maybe the best. if he keeps on this track. So yeah, great move by Andy Reid, man. He can choose those quarterbacks, that's for sure.
He just keeps on trucking, man. They just keep on doing what they do. It's amazing.
Yeah, I was interested. I saw the Titans were going to bring in or visit with Chase Young.
Yeah, the report is
what the report says.
Multiple reports. They will meet with Chase Young. They will meet with the linebacker Jerome Baker, who's been with the Dolphins. They're reported meetings with both of them, and that they have interest in Eric Armstead, L'Jarius Sneed, Justin Simmons, and DJ Reader. All defensive guys. They've been tied to all of those people by, Peliceros and Rossinis. And
they said they're all coming to visit, or they just
Chase Young and Jerome Baker, the only two reported visits.
Linebacker.
Armstead, Sneed, Simmons, DJ Reader, all just reported interest.
Man, at least you could say that if you like or don't like who they've signed, but you could say that they're trying to be in the ball game, in the ballpark with numerous players. So
if they can sign 3 of those guys on that list, just like pick any 3, any combination of those 3, or trade for Sneed, I guess, because you would have to trade for him and then sign him. I think you would call this a big win in free agency on the defensive side of the ball.
What would be your 3 guys?
Eric Armstead is probably my number 1 right now. To pair him with Big Jeff. I think we looked it up yesterday. I don't remember how many sacks he had, but he was pretty effective in San Francisco alongside that pass rush that's been good for years. He would probably be my number 1. And then if you couldn't get Armstead, Reader would be the next guy to fill in for Armstead. I just think he'd be another one of those Autry guys that could come in. And with Armstead, he's played both inside interior D-line and on the end. So he's versatile like that. He would be like your Autry guy. He's got 33.5 career sacks since 2015.
Armstead?
Armstead does, yeah.
Watch this. Do you remember him in the Super Bowl? Do you
In
remember
this
him in
past
the game
Super Bowl?
the Titans played him? See, I don't. Like he wasn't. You know who you do remember? Mike Jones. See, so I know the numbers are what they are, but I don't know why I'm just not a big fan of his, because I don't really know what he is. He's kind of like an Autry player. So then I go, okay, we're gonna pay him Autry money, $7 million. If he goes over that, no can do, based off of where everybody's going today and with the prices. Like that's kind of how I view him. He is not something special. So if he wants special money, then bye.
like you said, he's one of those guys that you pair with like a Big Jeff or like a big name guy who's going to create all the attention. He is one of those Autry guys. So hopefully if the Titans do sign him, they don't overpay. Like you said, probably that Autry money, that around $7-8 million.
So you signing him and Chase Young?
I would like. I am intrigued by Chase Young. I just don't know what you're going to get out of him.
Or someone like that. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
So do defensive ends, this is the real question. Do defensive ends or defensive tackles impact the game more based off where the Titans sit? So you're talking about Landry and Big Jeff. Like, if you were going to compliment those two guys, who would impact the defensive line more? A defensive end, regardless of who that is, and let's say they're the same, or the defensive tackle? Because to me, that's what you're going to have to hammer out here. And sometimes it works itself out where the guy who you really wanted, you know, he got outpriced until you end up going the other direction. But I think with the guards, the way things are going, defensive tackle is a huge, impactful player, but I just don't know if Armstead is that kind of impactful player. Like when we talk about the 49ers, I'm never talking about Armstead first. Like,
so are you saying you would rather have DJ Reed? Because those are the two interior guys that were linked. So would you rather have DJ Reader is what you're saying?
I don't know. I want to ask you guys, what do you think is more impactful, the D tackle or the D end?
Well, just looking at the Titan situation, so Big Jeff playing on the inside is probably going to garner double teams more often than not.
Which is what he did this year.
Which is
right?
exactly what he did this year. So if you can trust Harold Landry and Arden Key to win their one-on-one matchups on the outside, which Harold Landry proved that he could do coming off an ACL last year, should only get better, you would think, being further away from that injury. I would say defensive tackle just to get some more disruption on the inside, because if that's where Big Jeff's going to take all the attention. And you're gonna hope that, like I said, Harold Landry and Arden Key are going to win their one-on-one matchups on the outside versus those tackles.
So you saying basically Key is a starter, is what you say?
He's not going to be he's not going to be playing like a 90% of the snaps. He's probably more like a 40-50% of the snaps type of player. I think you need both positions.
Oh, no, well,
yeah, obviously, but
I'm just trying to, if you're trying to put a value on position.
I would go just based on the Titan situation. I'm going inside. I'm going defensive tackle.
Got you.
Let's do this. Let's pick it up on the other side. Bunch of names that the Titans are linked to. A lot of defensive guys. You want to give your thoughts. Phone lines open, 615-737-1045. People in the F&M Bank chat are weighing in a whole lot on this, on who they like and don't like. Lots of free agency talk today. Again, the new league year starts in about an hour and 44 minutes. All the deals will become consummated. Also, you still have some players who are getting cut. Teams like the Chargers still trying to basically get down to the salary cap level at the deadline that they have to be to start the new year. Your phone calls again, welcome, 615-737-1045. It is a big Wednesday edition of Blaine and Mickey. What's up, everybody? Did you know this? You can bet the NBA with a no-sweat same-game parlay from FanDuel every Thursday with TNT Thursday. So it's the best, you know that. The best crew, the best games. It doesn't matter if you're new to FanDuel or if you already have an account. You're going to get bonus bets back if your same-game parlay doesn't win on any NBA on TNT game. And NBA same-game parlays are the perfect way to combine your bets for a chance to score an even bigger payday for yourself. How about this shootout tonight between Dallas and OKC? Give me a big night for Luka. Give me a big night for Gilgeous-Alexander. And why not just take the over on points as well? And this rascal, which looks to be awesome. However you want to play, you just head to FanDuel.com/Mickey to bet the NBA with a no-sweat same-game parlay with TNT Thursdays. Again, FanDuel.com/Mickey. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. You do have to be 21 or older, present in Tennessee. Minimum 3-leg parlay required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets. Expire 7 days after receipt. Max refund $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.FanDuel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789. Blaine and Mickey, tick-tock, tick, doo-doo-doo-doo on a Wednesday, hanging out with you, talking free agency.
Time keeps on slipping. That's what's happening right now.
Into the future, boy. Hey, it slipped into the next NFL year here in about an hour and a half and change.
Oh my God. Why did they have this big human being standing next to the reporter who looks like mini-me right here?
L'Jarius Mims is on the TV right now, and he barely fits in Georgia's indoor facility.
Oh, my.
Sweet mother, he is a big fella.
Yeah, he's
Too bad he's not participating in pro day today because of an injury.
Neither is Brock Bowers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, what? Did they say what the injuries were?
Yeah, I will go back and find it because they did announce it. It was, I think they were both lower body injuries.
Yeah, something so they couldn't run.
Here, let me holler at my Twitter account here. I think I retweeted it because I
sometimes
figured
that's
somebody
kind of
would ask.
strategic. Like these guys know they're going to be first-round picks, probably, top 15. At least, they know they're going in the first round. They go, why do I need to run? I need to start getting ready for, the season.
Sure.
What you got?
This tiny lady who's interviewing Mims right here, Taylor Bisciotti.
Even though she's probably 6 feet. No.
Yes, but looks tiny compared to him. Brock Bowers and L'Jarius Mims are not planning to work out at Georgia's Pro Day today. Both are dealing with tweaked hamstrings.
Yeah, that's you know what? I tweaked my hamstring when I just reached down to pick up my pen. So yeah, that
Can't do it today.
Yeah, that's one of those injuries you say, well, we can't really say that it's not hurt. So, oh well. Oh man, Mims, man, is he on the radar for the Titans? Is he highly projected first round guy, or is he second round guy?
I think he's in that top
of the first,
top
into the second
tackles. Because we've heard from
How many? Top 5?
Top 5 tackles.
Yeah.
So we've heard from multiple people that you could have anywhere from 5 to 7 tackles taken in that first round. So I think he's more of that 18 to 26, 27 range tackle. Mm-hmm. I think the biggest thing with him is that he just doesn't have a lot of experience.
377 career snaps.
Yeah.
Let's pause that part of what you just said. Don't regurgitate what they say. You don't need experience when you play at Georgia, Alabama.
It's also
because
very
guess
true.
what? The guy in front of him went in the top 3 rounds too. So
That's also
what was
very
you
true.
supposed to do?
Yeah.
Very true.
So yeah,
I think but that was the only
you can
knock
use
on
that
him.
against him, but you can also say, I played at Georgia. What you want me to do?
That's the only knock
I started
on him,
one
though.
season and I dominated.
Yeah.
Against the best players in the country.
Hey, man, he's holding his hand up in a picture. It looks like a table.
Yeah, he looked like he can move. He looked like he in shape, man. Woo.
I'd like to. What do you always say? I'd like to watch him play basketball.
Oh,
because then you see what somebody's made of movement wise.
Yeah, with his feet. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
there's
hilarious right there. That I don't know. I wonder if she looked like she's taller than us.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
I mean,
that
Bananas
guy's-
and me
that
are
guy's
both
about
giants.
6'5".
So
Man, he look like a giant. Oh man.
he's at least 6'5". He has to be. And then his hair's pulled up tall, so that makes him like 5 inches taller, it looks like. Let's bring Noah into this conversation. Noah, row the boat on in here, man. What do you
Help us
got
out.
for us?
Hey, how you guys doing, man?
Good.
I was just thinking, I just wanted to pitch in on the free agent conversation, man. I really think L'Jarius Sneed and Chase Young would be excellent additions, and I'll tell you why. L'Jarius Sneed has proven he can lock some people up, and you need somebody else out there besides Arden Key. Harold's good. He's got speed. He can get you the sacks, but Arden Key's not big enough to hold down that other side of that line in the run game. So I feel like Chase and L'Jarius could really be big additions there. I'd love to have Baker too, but those two for sure.
Hey, what are you willing to trade for Sneed?
I don't know. I read online they were trying to send a third over for like next year. So I mean, I don't want to send a lot. Like if it's like a lot, I don't want them.
Okay.
But
yeah, if it's a third, I appreciate the phone call. Noah, call us anytime. 615-737-1045. Blaine and Mickey, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors.
So a third in 2025?
That's the only third they got right now.
Because they don't have one this year, right?
Nope.
So it has to be.
That is the rumor because it just said third round. It didn't say a year, but they don't have a third this year. So 2025 is the.
Well, I'm going to say this. What do you guys think about that? If that is true, 2025 third round pick for L'Jarius Sneed, and you got to pay him.
I'm nervous about what Chad Forbes told us about the knee.
No.
I'm nervous about that.
Tony Pauline.
Tony,
Get him a physical.
I think that was Tony Pauline that told us that.
Was it Tony Pauline or was it Chad Forbes?
Maybe
I thought
both.
It might have been both.
Oh, was it?
It was one that we've had both of them on within the last few days, so my mind is wandering on me. But there was talk.
Forbes.
I want to say it was Forbes.
Yeah, it was
because he was our most recent guest. I think the thing Forbes said, and help me remember, Blaine, because we were talking about this with Buck and Lucas earlier. They had to make a practice schedule for him to keep him off the practice field, and you went through this for a year where they trimmed your meniscus or just cut it off or whatever they did. Mm-hmm. So you had to sit with your leg elevated and get your knee drained, and then you'd play on Sundays.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know if his injury is that simple or is it something that's going to be chronic or it can be easily fixed. And he was just trying to make it through the season. And they went all the way to the Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl. So then it just became a longer, drawn-out process. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know the extent of his injury, and he got the HIPAA laws and everything else. So
we asked that question. Is this like a one-year thing, or is this always chronic for the rest of it?
And that's when Forbes stopped.
Amen. He said, there's HIPAA and things for me to be speculating, so let's just stop and say they had a practice schedule for his knee, and whomever tries to trade for him, their doctors are going to have to decide what they think,
right? Which
you said all along. Anytime you're worried about somebody's injuries, your team doctors have to – a guy gets a physical when he gets traded. Because there are trades sometimes that don't happen because the guy can't pass the other team's physical. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, that is very true there, Mickey. So, there's no way around it. And if the Titans do see it and they think, you know what, we've had a guy on our team that had this same injury. It's already healing, and it'll be fine once the season, gets here and we start, training camp or – mini camp or something. But you just never want a player coming in, especially a guy high profile that's going to trade and pay him big dough that, you want to be out there immediately. But if you feel very comfortable that it will heal and he'll be fine, then move forward. But if not, that's a red herring for me. I'm out. I don't even know the extent of any of it, but it's just like they better make sure they know exactly what it is and how long it's going to take to heal.
And there have just been so many issues with guys being injured here, especially whether it's Farley or whether it's these different guys who just couldn't do the things they needed to do because they got here injured.
Here's the thing with Sneed, though, is it didn't seem to affect his game day on the field play.
Absolutely it did. There was dudes wide open every time. They just didn't throw to this guy based off of reputation. You go back and watch the Super Bowl. The pass that Purdy threw out of bounds. Ayuk was wide open running a dig route, and Sneed fell, and he did it multiple times, and he juked him, and he just fell, and it might have been that bad knee. He had no power to deal with it, and boom. See, so don't just look at what happened in a game. Actually, if you're going to talk about a player, you want to watch actually what he did, regardless if they threw the ball to him or not, because all people know is, he didn't get toasted, but the guys was open. Yeah. And they just didn't look at it. I mean, so you can say he didn't get toasted, but you can say, hey, man, he doesn't look like the best corner out there on the market that's going to be coming up after the season. And it happened, I want to say it was 3 times in the Super Bowl. The dude was wide open, and he had him locked covered, and then they did some move, and then, whoop, they were wide open. They just missed him. Ayuk, I think that's why Ayuk was so pissed. Was that one time he was running the back of his zone, he was so mad.
Yeah. Was that the one where he just kind of ran right by him and was wide open in the end zone, and it was
he ran something like a dig route. And he juked him. I mean, it wasn't nothing.
Purdy got pressured, and that's why he overthrew him.
Right.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Mike Jones got him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So they go back and watch the film. Now, his body of work speaks for itself, right? But it was like, hey, man, this guy isn't like what he's not like he's going to shut down. That's why I started saying, I don't know if I would go for more there are no more shutdown corners in my mind. Like, you just, shutdown corner means you keep a guy at 40 and under. That doesn't happen. Now you keep him 80 and under, that's shutdown. Like, whoa.
Yeah.
Or is that worth $20-something million to pay a guy if you can get the $8 million guy that can actually be serviceable and do somewhat close to that? When you start looking at corners, like Owuzie, right? We just signed.
Yep.
He's just a good, solid starting cornerback. I don't know if I would probably use that as the mantra for my other corner, too, to be honest. I just don't think there really are shutdown corners anymore.
Still seems like you're probably going to have to go and draft a cornerback.
Oh, yeah, you're going to have to draft one, and you may need to still sign
one. Yeah.
I'm just saying I would target more the Owuzie guy. I want 2 of them, match up with McCrory, then I got depth pieces, and then I can draft a guy. I mean, so now, because I may not get to draft a guy till when? Fourth round.
Fourth round, yeah.
If I decide to go receiver and tackle in whatever order you want to.
Because it doesn't look like they're going to go after a receiver in free agency.
Right.
So at least
it was
in the rumors.
The only guy I really like was Mooney. But you don't spend just to spend. I think they are spending based off of what's going to be available in the draft. They keep saying it's a deep tackle draft and a deep wide receiver draft. So when you say that, when you're the Titans, you go, well, I can get both of those in the draft. So I'm not going to target that so much in free agency because the free agency in those guys isn't as strong as I want it to be either. I wish the Titans could go out there and get the number one, but they're not available. You got to go trade? Like, then he's got a need.
And he's going to make, I'm looking at the top
20, what?
The average value, top cornerbacks. Denzel Ward is number one. He is $20 million per year. And then you have like 19.5 for Marshawn Lattimore. Then you got 19 and change for Marlon Humphrey. And then 19 and change for Trayvon Diggs and Xavier Howard. It's going to be like 4 years at $20 million a year. Because you have to give him his new contract once you get him. So it's not only trade an asset for him, it's then pay him at the very top of the market.
Yeah, and I
How old is he?
wouldn't want to do that. Not with the trade part of it. Man, that's a lot. When you don't have a lot of capital and trade value.
I still think out of those names, I think Jerome Baker, the guy that they're bringing in tomorrow, who was in Miami, a guy who can wear the green dot as an inside linebacker to pair with Kenneth Murray, the dude that they signed from the Chargers. I think he would be a great signing, just because he's a little bit of he's kind of the opposite of Murray. He's not as athletically freakish, but he understands the position of inside linebacker.
Well, I like it, but what are we talking about here? How much? How long?
Oh,
I could like a guy. I like all these guys we're talking about.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like, okay, well, are we signing to a 1-year deal or a 3-year deal? And what is that worth? Is he worth $5 million, $10 million?
Well, last year you signed all these guys to these 1-2-year deals, and a couple of them have walked. Sean Murphy Bunting, or not walked, but they weren't re-signed here. They went and signed bigger deals at other places, like Sean Murphy Bunting and Aziz. So do you think in the back of Rand's mind, he's like, I don't want that to happen again, and I'm going to go find a guy who's going to be here for at least a good period of time, 2 or 3 years, rather than just a 1-year prove-it deal, and then we don't want to pay him after?
See, this is why I love being on radio right here. Every year is its own situation. Last year, the Titans going into the season were thinking, what? Yeah. We're a playoff contending team. So then you can do a 1-year plug-it deal. See that? Now you're saying we are rebuilding. They haven't said that, but that's what you're doing. So what is this, a stopgap guy who wants to prove that he could get bigger money? Or is he a guy that we want to say, come on, we're going to sign him to a 3-year deal, and then you'll lead us into, the new stadium and that. So to me, you're in the developmental stages. So I'm cool with, even if you draft a linebacker and just start him, he's better than the guys they got. I don't know how much I want to spend. I like the Baker guy, but I don't think he's going to make or break our team. If he's talking about breaking the bank, like, I don't know about that. Watch this. Before this, I knew who he was, but I wasn't sure, is he a great player? I haven't watched him.
He is reported to meet with the Titans, though. He and Chase Young.
He's visiting 2 other teams, too, right?
Chase Young is visiting the Panthers and the Saints.
Yes.
I have not seen any other teams for Jerome Baker.
So maybe we get him for a 1-year deal. Let Otis Reese continue to develop. See, I kind of like that deal, but for 1 year, 5? I don't know what the guy made last year.
Yeah, we need to look that up. Let's have a meeting with Scott from Spring Hill right quick, though, here on the phone, 615-737-1045. Scott, what do you think, man? Solve some free agency problems for us here.
Well, I just was talking to some buddies yesterday, and this isn't really a free agency. It would be trading, but I'm all on board. I'm going to start this line of discussion about trading for Justin Jefferson. And my proposal would be this. We give Minnesota, they need to get a quarterback. They probably want to move up from 11. we give them 7 and 38 and our first rounder next year, and we get JJ and 11. What that does, I realize you're going to have to pay Jefferson, but
That's
you're
what I
going
was
to
just
pay
about to say.
somebody. I'd rather pay a proven commodity. And basically what you're doing is this year, instead of drafting a rookie wide receiver and a rookie lineman, if that's the way they go, you're basically drafting Justin Jefferson and let's just say Ola Fashanu drops to 11, right? We're drafting them, and we give up a first rounder next year. But Blaine, any round pick is a crapshoot. Number ones aren't guaranteed, just like a number 3 or number 4 isn't guaranteed. You give me that all day long, and I'm all over it. You still got a year to figure out Justin's contract, and I don't know, man. I'm all about that. I don't know what you guys think. I'd like to hear.
When you make that trade, he's going to get paid immediately. You don't have a year to kind of continue his contract based off all the collateral you gave up. You're going to have to give him a new deal before the season even starts. Like pretty much when he gets traded.
They got the cap money to do that this year.
No, they do.
Not?
They do. Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't have to wait. Yeah, they do.
So you guys like it? You hate it? What? I'll hang up and listen.
Thank you, Scott. I've said this in the past before. I've been fine with trading a draft pick for a proven commodity at times in the past where it's like, this guy's got 6 years of track record in the NFL. You know exactly who he is, and you have no idea what this third-round pick is going to turn out to be. Absolutely, I'd trade it for that guy. But as Blaine has said over and over again, nobody's using the R word over there, but they're rebuilding. They are. And as great as Justin Jefferson is, they have needs at every position. We talked about this every day for a month, 2 months now. They have needs at every position. And if you were like, we got Justin Jefferson, but there's nobody to block for him and there's not enough other guys around him to take attention away from him, and we don't have enough pass rushers on defense, I think they need to be in the process of acquiring as many, as you've said over and over, good players as they can. Yeah. And here's the example in my head. I'll tell you what, I'll share it when we come back because we got to take a break. Okay. I'll give you the bowl of ice cream theory when we come back. Stick around.
Sounds yummy.
It is. Let's talk to everybody out there who is dealing with hair loss. You know that it's you if it's you, right? Like, you're maybe like your mom was kind enough to point it out, or, you see the pictures of you when you walk around the house. You know that you look different. And you think, gosh, dang it, man. I'll just get my hair buzzed, or I'll wear a hat all the time, or I'll do something like that. Why not just get your hair back with PAI? Why not just make the phone call, 615-376-6010, and just meet the problem head on, as they say. Just get the problem fixed. And here's the deal. They've got this amazing process called multi-unit hair grafting, and it's a one-day procedure, 1 day of your life, for the rest of your life having your hair back. That sounds pretty good, right? And you can't afford it, and they'll explain the technology to you. Shoot, you can go right now to WeGrowHair.com, and you can see real people and real results from this procedure and others that they offer. So why don't you get on the phone right now and make your first appointment? It's absolutely free. They'll explain everything to you. It's free. It's free. Costs you nothing to get a game plan. With PAI Medical Group, WeGrowHair.com, 615-376-6010. Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone, 615-737-1045 will get you on the show. And Phalen will join us in about 30 minutes in the second segment of the second hour, filling in for Jordan DeJani today. We'll get Sam's thoughts on all things Titans, including the re-signing of Julius Chestnut. He is back with the Titans on a one-year reported deal. Here's the bowl of ice cream theory, because we had a caller who laid out a great trade for Justin Jefferson. The caller laid out a great trade opportunity he's probably going to get. We discussed this in the break. Banana said he's probably going to he wants $30 million a year. So speculation will be the first $30 million receiver.
Right.
So immediately his pay is going to go to $30 million a year for however many years. You can fix the cap hit and put dummy years and all that to make it look better. $30 million a year. Here's the bowl of ice cream theory. Somebody asked me once about being a bass player. And I said, let me ask you a question. If I had you over to my house, I said, you want some ice cream? And you said, man, that sounds awesome. And I just took a couple of scoops and said, hold out your hands. Is that a good thing to have? No. The ice cream, the sprinkles, the chocolate sauce, that's Justin Jefferson. The bowl that holds it, musically, the bowl that holds the ice cream is the bass and the drums. Mm-hmm. The ice cream and the chocolate sauce, that's the lead guitarist and the lead singer and all the fancy stuff. I'm the bowl that holds the ice cream. Mm-hmm. I'm a Toyota Camry. I get you where you're going reliably. But the ice cream theory is the bowl of ice cream holds everything in place. Before you put the chocolate sauce on it or anything, you got to have a bowl to hold it all. The Titans don't have the bowl to hold the stuff. They need the bowl and then the ice cream and then the chocolate sauce and then the sprinkles. And Justin Jefferson is down the line as one of those things. They don't have the luxury of chocolate sauce when they don't have a bowl to hold the ice cream. Does that make sense? All the hot fudge you want, but you got to have the bowl first to hold everything.
Well, no, I mean, this is what we've always said. You just use an analogy like that, but I mean, it's like you got to have your offensive lineman.
They got to have it.
Or you don't have nothing. I mean, they can talk about how much you want. Oh, we got Justin Jefferson. Well, if you can't get the quarterback to throw to him because he's on his back. So yeah, I completely agree with that. That's a tough one for me. I think if we were one player away, there are some benefits to what the caller said, though. We get ticket sales, got the draw, we got the wow guy. You know, people want a must-watch television. So you get all those, and he's a great player. Let's call it what it is. You got to pay him. But at the same time, I don't think we're one player away from me. Yeah. And go down the laundry list of things they need, Mickey. We just went over it off the break. I mean, man.
This is what's in my notes. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
A backup quarterback, another safety, another cornerback, a left tackle, a right guard, unless they think Sadiq Charles maybe is the right guard, another wide receiver, probably need another tight end. They don't have a kicker, and they really do need a return man.
Yeah. See, so
and that's not to mention they need another inside linebacker and another pass rusher too.
I'm all in. I think, okay, we're going to sell our soul, and we're going to go after the diamond rough who can just transform this team immediately, and it'll put us in the conversation of Super Bowl contending type team. Right now, it will be, if you made that move, you could potentially get fired as a GM, or you're going to get a lot of people come to the games, and the Titans still won't be very good. And then eventually, as we know, winning is a cure-all to everything. So if you're not actually winning, then they don't even care if the guy you traded for still getting catches. They're not coming to watch.
Right.
So I think maybe after this year, something like that could possibly happen. Mm-hmm. But it won't be with, naturally him. But I think I'm in the stage of I want to gather a whole bunch of quality starters in the National Football League. As I'm going to give Rand more so say this is his first year because Vrabel is not part of these discussions. So now it's all on him. I don't know how much clout. I want to assume Vrabel had a lot of clout. And so he was just trying to mitigate what Vrabel wanted. Now everything is about what he wants and Callahan. But he has the final say-so. So that's why I say, hey, man, I want to gather quality starters because with all those holes, man, you got to think, okay, if we finish somewhere in the middle or above that, man, that was a win as far as a winning record. And then next year, you then start thinking like how the caller was talking about. I just think you can't fix this team in one off season. So you try to gather really good quality players and where you can compete, and then you may win some games just because of the coaching or big plays or whatever may happen in the game. So that's a tough one for me. As much as I kind of like the idea, I just think this is not the year for this team, the Titans, to do it.
Talk to me, says in the F&M Bank chat. Well, then why sign anybody with all these theories? Why get a DB when we need a wide receiver? That's not what we're saying. We're not.
No. Well,
we're saying they need a lot of people, not one guy making $30 million.
Right. Yeah. They need holes everywhere.
For $30 million, they need 4 different guys added up making that who fill needs that they don't have right now. Kenny the mailman. Let's bring Kenny in here.
I know it's tough because you got the guys that you like out there that has big names. I just don't think we're in that kind of boat quite yet. Yeah.
Not saying not next year, though, or anything like that, but just build the base this year. Build the foundation. Kenny the mailman, he can deliver once you build your house on that foundation. What's up, Kenny?
What's up, Kenny?
Yeah, Bernard, Mickey, you got me out in this hot truck thing about ice cream. I don't even need the bowl. Just give me some.
Yeah, it's melting, man. It's melting in your hands, man.
Listen, usually I don't tell people go out and spend, but I don't mind them spending a little bit this year, overspending to get guys in, because guess what?
Yeah.
They have saved so much money. They didn't pay a second contract on Isaiah Wilson.
Yep.
They didn't pay a second contract on Caleb Phalen.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to pay a second contract on Dylan Radens. And unless Burks goes nuts, they're not going to give him a second contract. They've saved more than my wife at Save-A-Lot clipping coupons. So they can buy a couple out there and get me some ice cream. Y'all have a great day.
Kenny, enjoy your ice cream.
Good ice cream.
Hour number 2 of the show coming up. You want to get in line, phones are ringing, 615-737-1045. We'll continue to talk about free agency. If you're just joining us, the Titans have brought back one of their own, which is only the second player on the roster that they have re-signed. We'll tell you who that is. Chargers are making moves, some staying, some going as they try to get under the salary cap. We're a little over an hour away from the start of the new NFL year, so there should be some action in this next hour, and we'll cover all of it here on Blade and Mickey, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors.
Or 3HL.
FanDuel is putting the ball in your court for the rest of the NBA season. That's because right now new customers get $200 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. Sounds good, right? $200 if your bet wins. Well, you can bet on a whole bunch of stuff with FanDuel with the NBA, quick bets, or the excitement of the live same game parlay, or maybe player props, and maybe you love star players. Well, guess what? On FanDuel, you can just go and pick star player props. It's a real thing right there. So, you got your favorites. Bet on their stuff. And you can visit FanDuel.com/Mickey, and that's where you can make that first bet a layup. Again, FanDuel.com/MICKEY. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NBA. You do have to be 21 and up, though, present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets. It expires 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
And now, an update from the Blue Cross Basketball State Championships in Murfreesboro, presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.
Boys quarterfinal action in progress in the Glass House. Good afternoon. I'm Lucas Panzica. Less than a minute to play in the fourth quarter as Rossview wraps up a 64-42 lead against Morristown East. Rossview just trying to see it out and stamp their ticket into the boys 4A semifinal, where they will face the winner between Independence and Laverne. That game will start 15 minutes after the conclusion of this one. Earlier today, Cookeville defeated Maryville 70-60. They move on in the 4A bracket, and they will face Bartlett in the semifinal, who beat Brentwood 51-45. Drunk driving is the ultimate form of unsportsmanlike conduct. Fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
Good afternoon. It is 2:01. I'm Joseph Bonanno. The new NFL league year is almost upon us. That'll happen in about 59 minutes as teams are still making moves before all those reported signings start to become official. That includes the Los Angeles Chargers, who are releasing wide receiver Mike Williams to clear up $20 million in cap space to get them under that cap number before 3 p.m. The Chargers will also be restructuring defensive end Khalil Mack's contract to keep him on the roster in 2024. Other moves around the NFL, the Tennessee Titans have re-signed running back Julius Chestnut to a one-year deal. Chestnut was on IR after the third game of the season and now returns as the third running back. Jordan Whitehead is headed to Tampa for his second stint down in Florida on a 2-year, $10.5 million deal. Whitehead was with the Jets for the last 2 seasons, and the Panthers are signing former Bills cornerback Dane Jackson on a 2-year deal. Jackson started 28 games over 4 seasons for Buffalo. The SEC basketball tournament gets started tonight. Arkansas and Vanderbilt kick things off at 6 p.m., followed by Missouri and Georgia. You can catch both of those right here on The Zone, courtesy of Learfield. 3HL will also be live from Bridgestone Arena starting at 3 p.m. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. What's up? Middle of the week, in the middle of the show, the nexus of the sports talk universe. We appreciate you riding with us today and every day. Remember, let's ride all the way to Pittsburgh. We'll stay here. Yeah, let's do it. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk to Sam Phalen in about 20 minutes on all the latest from the Titans. Here is the latest on the Titans. This happened right as we started on the air. Julius Chestnut back on a 1-year deal. He was an ERFA, which is a player with 2 years of experience that you can sign back on just essentially whatever the minimum is for their experience in the NFL. So he gets a minimum 1-year deal with the Titans. Seems like the running back position may be done. Here's a kind of a bigger guy who can move downhill, play fullback, as you said. He's a special teamer. Then you have Pollard, who there are details about his contract that it's actually 3 for 21, up to 24 with incentives, 10.49 guaranteed. And then, of course, you have Tajay Spears, who we all liked certainly what we saw from him last year. So maybe the running back position, you can kind of put a bow on that for now for the Titans, except for guys who will come to camp and compete for maybe a 4th spot or practice squad, that kind of thing. They did sign a guard yesterday evening, Sadiq Charles, a 1-year deal, max $2.5 million. He was a 4th-round pick for Washington. He was a college teammate of Lloyd Cushenberry at LSU. He has played all 4 tackle and guard spots, but mostly left guard, Cushenberry. Sadiq Charles. So is he a swing guy? Because you need guys like that who can. You only have 9 offensive linemen on game day, so you need guys who can do multiple things. Is he going to compete at guard? But anyway, he was the one addition for the Titans that was yesterday evening, and Julius Chestnut back. There are reports.
Maybe he's a versatility guy. They're saying, hey, man, wherever we need a hole, he can fill it if it's for a game or two. So, you always like versatility, but I don't think they're signing him to be a starter.
So, but you got to have depth guys too. Yeah. And here's the thing. If you are not a starting offensive lineman, you better be the most versatile son of a gun. Yeah, because that's how you stay on the team.
Because most of the guys typically are just standing there in their entire game. Yep. They may get to do field goal, and if they don't get to do field goal, they don't play at all.
Yep.
Just think about that now. So you got,
because the line on the punt is like linebackers and tight ends, which people don't think about that. But look at the numbers of the people.
Offensive linemen are only getting to play the guys who aren't starting if they on the field goal. Yeah, you better be versatile because you may only dress 3 other guys outside the starting 5.
There are reports that the Titans are linked to all defensive players. Reports yesterday had the Titans, they have a meeting with Chase Young. They have a meeting with the linebacker Jerome Baker from Miami. Then there are reports of interest of Eric Armstead, L'Jarius Sneed, which would be via trade, Justin Simmons, the safety, who's had a nice career in Denver, really nice, and DJ Reader, a defensive lineman. So all defensive guys, all names that are supposedly in play, but visits scheduled with Chase Young and Jerome Baker. So lots of talk earlier about, okay, we all like Chase Young. What does he want, though?
Yeah, what is the amount that you're going to have to pay to get him?
Yep.
I don't know about that.
And with Jerome Baker, your thing was, I mean, I like him. You said, I remember him being at Miami, but okay, what does that guy want and for how long? Bananas did a little digging. Azeez Al-Shire was a 1-year, $5 million contract last
Right, that's
year.
why I keep using $4 and $5 million.
Something like that.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying that. Yeah, he was no different than Bunting and all these guys who were trying to do the prove it deal.
Yep.
Maybe they didn't play up to snuff or got injured halfway through the season, didn't play, most of the season or some parts of the season. So, I'm cool with that one. Yeah, I'm cool with that because we're building quality starting NFL players, whether it's a 1-year deal, 3-year deal, and I'm not paying an astronomical number for a guy who may pan out or not. So that's kind of, I like that idea. And then you're buying yourself time, at least for me personally, for Otis Reese to continue to develop at the other linebacker spot.
That, and if you decide to go linebacker in, let's say, the 5th or 6th round in this upcoming draft, give that guy some time to develop as well.
Sure.
Yeah. I know it doesn't count for the guys they previously drafted, but boy, I sure would hope I can not. I don't want to draft a linebacker. The reason why I say that is because you can find a linebacker that's out there that's a veteran guy that can 5-6 years that can be that role player to be a piece just to get you through for the next year or two. So you just don't want to use when you're talking about a team who this is going to be valuable. These guys are going to contribute. And we need I don't want to draft a linebacker. That's almost for me like drafting a running back at this point. Do not draft a running back. You can go get a veteran running back out there that you can get, and he can be serviceable when you need him. And we won't miss a beat with the guys that got. That's kind of how I look at linebacker.
And there are different flavors of guys, too.
Yeah, we're talking about inside and outside. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
And for inside guys, is this guy more of a coverage guy? Is he more see-ball, hit-ball? Is he a guy who can wear the dot for you if he needs to? So, but like you said, a guy who's got 5-6 years in the league, you know what he is.
Yeah.
His
So
track
what is
record
Murray,
there.
though? Do we know what he is? See-ball, get-ball? Super freakish athlete, as we all mentioned, but man, you go watch some tape, man. You'll be fascinated, like, oh, I think we got some here, and then you'll see what were you looking at?
Talking about Murray.
And man, I'm gonna say this: being a former NFL player, that crap right there used to piss me the heck off. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, how do you do this play that nobody in their mind can make this play, and then because you wanted to be lazy with your eye discipline, and then you just let your guy run right by you? Nah, that don't add up to me. So then guess what? You're just a good player that could be great. You have great traits, but you're not a great player.
Because when he came in the league, traits out the yin-yang.
Man, this dude.
And look at him. Like the
He is
pictures of
massive.
him.
Oh, man.
Does that
He looks like a superhero.
I would have put him in a 3-point stand. He would have been pissed at me. Like, you can't think, so I'm going to make you just do something that you don't have to think. Go.
I stole this from the Buck Rising show, but does that remind you of any former Titans linebacker?
No, we always had smart ones.
Or Rashawn Evans, maybe?
I thought you were talking about who I played with.
No, recently.
I just, somewhat similar, but, I think this guy is even more of a freakish athlete, though. I think Rashawn is a great athlete. This guy's on a freakish level. When I say freakish, I'm talking about like Javon Curse freakish. Like, he's got that kind of you go, dang. What he went first round. What pick was he? I guarantee you, this guy is a top 20 pick, man. This guy, middle linebacker.
I want to say he was 23.
Oh, yeah. This guy.
He was 23.
This guy was I don't know how many middle linebackers went high, but he's a. So eventually, maybe he figures it out. That's what you're hoping. And here's what happens: coaches say, if I work with him, I think I can figure him. He's good enough now, but to put him on another level, this guy has. I'm gonna just say, this guy has Hall of Fame ability. Certain guys come into the league, and you go, his ability tells you what he can be. Now, his mental aptitude and discipline in a game, game to game, shows you he's a very inconsistent player. For me personally, I don't like to play with inconsistent players. Like, and when I say that, and I say that in tongue in cheek, like, here's a good example. He comes up, he's supposed to lead and be contained. Well, he decides I can make the play. The play wasn't designed for him to make the play. The other guy's supposed to make the play, whether it's a safety or a linebacker or a defensive end. But what he thinks is, I can make every play. And so then he jukes outside, tries to go underneath the block to make the play. Instead, he gets blocked and pushed out of the way. And so now they're created a big hole because he thought he could make a play because he's shown that he can. Well, I don't like consistency. If you would have done what you've done, do what you're supposed to do, then the other guy's going to make the play because he's in the right spot. Now you put him in the bind. Now it's a big hole, and he has to make a one-on-one tackle. So those are the things that are minor, but in the same sense, it's huge because it can be frustrating from a player, coach, in a game that, oh, man, this is frustrating.
Yeah. Watching a guy lose outside contain when his whole job is to keep the play funneled to the other guy drives me crazy.
Yeah, it does for me, too. It's like a pet peeve. It's like, come on, man. Every play is not for you to make.
Nope.
Do your job and then play off of that. So that's what's frustrating. You know what remind me of? We're not the freakish athletes. What's his name used to do this when he played here, too, at linebacker? Was it a kid from Vanderbilt?
Cunningham.
Cunningham. He would do the same thing. He had talent too. He wasn't Murray talent, but he had like he could run. He was athletic, and he would do the same thing. I can remember a play right now. It's funny. It's right ingrained in my brain. Shaquan long run versus the Titans was Cunningham's fault because he didn't want to do his job. He thought he could make the play. He went underneath the block.
Yeah.
No. Front side, they headed right at you. You're supposed to hit the guy down the bow or on the outside shoulder so you can make the play. You keep contained. Instead, he goes inside. You end up then blocking the other linebacker, and then he scoots and gone for 80.
Yep.
Frustrating. Should never happen. You do that on 9-on-7 in your sleep every day.
Yep.
See, so these are the little nuances of a game, and when you see talent versus execution and discipline, that's Murray.
You talk about his abilities, though.
Woo! I love to learn.
4.5 40.
He ran a 4.5 flat.
Hit 4.52.
He ran faster than me.
38-inch vert. He didn't hit your vert, but that's still pretty good for
that's the only thing I probably beat him on.
250-pound guy. His broad jump was 10.9. This linebacker, he's 250 pounds. So you just said that without seeing any of this stuff.
I loved him at Oklahoma.
A
I remember this
10.9
guy.
broad jump, man.
Oh, man.
He's 6'3", 240 and change, and he ran a low 4.5s. Jeez, man.
Here's how I'd approach a guy like that. Now that we've signed him, I'd approach this guy like this. Hey, man. And he signed a 2-year deal, right?
Yes, 2-year for $18 million.
Right. I'm going to say, hey, man, if I was coaching him one-on-one, you want to get paid? And when I say that, I'm saying $20 million and up. I can make you the best linebacker in the NFL. All you got to do is listen to me and trust me. I can take you there. Now, the rest is on you. I can't go out there and play for you. But if you do what I'm coaching you, you can be a $20 million a year linebacker or whatever the number is for the highest paid linebacker.
You're right.
He has that kind of ability. And if he trusts him, he's going to want to get paid. He may go back to who he is after those 2 years, but for those 2 years, because now I got his ear. I got you. You got to find out what motivates this guy to take him to the next level because he has that ability.
Yeah.
It is like, wow.
I'll tell you who's here, Sam Phalen. We got to talk to him next. We'll be on the phone with the man from A to Z Sports, get his take on what the Titans are doing and not doing. We'll do all that next with Sam Phalen right here on Blaine and Mickey, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors.
Hey, Tennessee, it's Blaine Bishop here. With the unpredictable weather hitting us hard, it's crucial you ensure your home is equipped for any challenge. So don't let the next power outage catch you off guard. And Cool Ray's Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical has your back. And they're offering an incredible $1,500 off select at-home generators. And yes, you heard it right, $1,500 off. So don't gamble with your family's safety. Act now and secure your peace of mind with Cool Ray. And if that's not enticing enough, take advantage of their $49 tune-up for HVAC system. It's perfect for ensuring your home stays comfortable in any weather. And if you've been thinking about upgrading to a new HVAC system, they're offering free estimates on replacements. And their expert comfort consultants are ready to guide you toward the perfect solution for your home. And Cool Ray, keeping Tennessee cool, plumbing right, and lights bright. All you have to do is just visit them on coolray.com and take control of your home's comfort and safety. That's coolray.com.
And now, an update from the Blue Cross Basketball State Championships in Murfreesboro, presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.
There is one spot left in the boys 4A Final Four, and it's a mid-state matchup to decide it. Early goings about halfway through the first quarter as Independence leads Laverne 9-7. Good afternoon. I'm Lucas Panzica. The winner of that game will play Rossview in the 4A boys semifinal on Friday morning. Opposite on the other side of the bracket, Cookeville and Bartlett are the remaining teams in boys 4A down in Murfreesboro. Designate a sober game plan. If you've been drinking, don't drive. Fans, don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
Below MSRP? Below MSRP. Below MSRP. It's pretty simple. Two Rivers Ford sells all new non-specialty Fords below MSRP.
Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. Let's get Sam Phalen in here. Hey, Sam, A to Z Sports owns Sam Phalen. You got a call back from the Nashville Cats. Last time you were on, you had auditioned for the team, tried out. Just curious if they'd reached out to you for any type of your services there.
Yeah, what position were you trying out for?
Quarterback, yeah.
Yeah. Listen, we got the scouting report back. I was pumped about the numbers on the 40 and on the shuttle. Some are saying that the numbers are fake a little bit. I am choosing not to believe that and believing that I actually have 4.85 speed in the tank, which, I'm just going to take that as cold, hard fact. Unfortunately, bad news for everybody. I will not be the quarterback of the Nashville Cats this season. That's breaking news right here on Blaine and Mickey.
That's good. Yeah, man. It's good news for the readers of A to Z Sports, though, because they don't want you going anywhere. When I first moved to town in the 90s and was playing music, and I would tell people that I moved here, and they'd ask me what I did, and the Cats were still here, and I always told them I was the punter for the Cats.
You did that?
Yes.
You were telling them fibs?
Yes, and here's the thing. They don't punt in arena football. There's no punting. So, I mean, it was a joke. But no, people
Nobody
were
never
like,
like,
oh, my
okay.
gosh. What do you average? And I was like, what's a short field? Like, I average about 17 yards per kick. I said, I'm a field position guy. So, Sam, if you need any...
We better cut that.
If you need any advice, Sam...
I'm the punter for the National Cats. They don't even punt.
Tell them you're the punter. You're a lot bigger than me, though. Maybe you can tell them you're a defensive end. All right, Titans, maybe they're talking to some defensive ends. We'll find out about all that. But let me ask you, of all the moves they have made so far... favorite and least favorite Titans free agent moves so far for one Sam Phalen?
Yeah, so I think the favorite has to be the biggest splash that they made, which is Lloyd Cushenberry at center. I'm really a fan of this move because it addresses something that's been so catastrophic for them, and that is their pass protection. And so to get an established center that has more weight on him than Aaron Brewer did, who's not as susceptible to getting bull rushed, who really graded out in every which way as one of the top pass protecting centers in the game, and to get him on a long-term deal, I think really will help set the tone of this offensive line as they try and turn this roster over and reestablish how they're going to do things. Now you have Peter Skoronski at left guard. You've got Lloyd Cushenberry at center. Those are two really solid pieces that can grow together as you start to build out the rest of your guys up front. So I really like Lloyd Cushenberry as my favorite signing. Tony Pollard, maybe a close second. I think that's sneaky good value for the Titans. I have some concerns about the Kenneth Murray deal. And really, just in Kenneth Murray's play style, freak athlete, explosive off the ball, works really well downhill, can be very good against the run. I don't think his lateral movement is quite where I would like to see it being. He's not great at switching directions. He can sometimes have that be a problem for him. He's not somebody I would give a green dot to. And so you lose Azeez Al-Shire to the Houston Texans. I think inside linebacker immediately goes up on your list of like, hey, we need to find a problem here. Kenneth Murray is a starter, but I don't know if he's on the level of Azeez. And so I still think that's a big area that I look at and say, you have to find somebody to complement him well. And they gave him a little bit more money than I would have thought for somebody who has struggled the past 2 years with the Chargers.
What was that contract? What was it, a 2-year deal for how much?
I want to say it was close. I can pull it up.
It was 2 for 15.5 max, value of 18.
Oh.
18 is the max there.
Oh.
Like, I don't know. The linebacker market is always kind of inconsistent. But like I said, for a guy who's probably at best your linebacker 2, yes, he had 3 sacks last year. A guy who's also had some injury problems in the recent past, dating back to 2021.
Oh, really?
This was not my favorite signing. I think it can work in a vacuum if you surround him with the right pieces, but I still think you need a guy next to him.
We got a guy, and he's talking Titans, at Sam_Phalen, A to Z Sports.
Sam, I'm glad you brought that up because I agree with all that about Murray. I think he maybe fits the scheme. I'm interested to see how Wilson, the D coordinator, fits him into this because it's an attacking style defense. And you said the word that he's, if you're attacking, he does really well. So when you're in those situations where you have to move lateral, I don't know how much he'll have to do that. But that'll be interesting to see. I'll be definitely paying attention to that. But who would you have signed in the open market if it wasn't Shees? I thought Shees got a little too much for me to pay for my inside linebacker. I think he got 12 or so, somewhere around there. So who else would have been on your target list at linebacker in free agency?
Well, I still think there's one on the market, and luckily it's a guy that has been linked to the Titans, and he'll be visiting the Titans tomorrow here in Nashville, and it's Jerome Baker, the former Dolphins linebacker. He is kind of all of those things that Kenneth Murray isn't. He's really excels in coverage, really excels his lateral movement.
Okay.
He's got experience with the green dot on his helmet. So he's a little bit undersized is probably the drawback to him, but I think he complements Murray really well, and vice versa, right? Murray's your downhill thumper, a little bit of a bigger guy, and then Jerome Baker can take care of, he had 78 tackles with a couple interceptions and did really well in the pass defense game last year for Miami. So if they can get Jerome Baker, I'll feel a lot better about it. So that's one that's on my radar. And personally, maybe I'm a bit higher on Azeez than you are, but I probably would have given him that contract that he got from Houston. I would have been okay with that.
What, 12, 13 million?
Yeah, I really liked Azeez last year. I liked his leadership. I really felt like he was just coming into his own in that defense as well. I'm not sure I would have shied away from it, but we all know what free agency is, right? You got to overpay. Texans are in more of a position to overpay than the Titans are because they're just closer to competing. So for Titans fans out there that want to compare the Titans to the Texans right now and say, oh, hey, you've got a quarterback on a rookie contract too. Why aren't you doing as much? I think there's a big difference in where the two teams are as far as their readiness to contend and their willingness to overspend to get to a Super Bowl level of contention.
Mm-hmm. Well, it seems like the Texans and, the Colts and whoever else you want to talk about in the AFC South are really kind of turning the corner. It seems like they have the edge over the Titans, and you're not comparing them, but in free agency. But does a GM kind of look out the corner of his eye and say, we need to turn this thing up based off of what other teams are doing in the AFC South?
I would hope not. Maybe in some circumstances, right? If you were more in a spot to contend, right? If the expectation, of course, any GM or any coach, whatever, will tell you that the expectation is to win the division and win football games. But I think realistically, if you're the Titans coming into this offseason, you don't view yourself on the same playing field as a Colts or Texans might be. The Texans, a team that went to the playoffs and won a playoff game. The Colts, a team that were less than 20 yards away from winning the AFC South last year before that fourth down drop in that game against the Texans. Those are teams that are more ready to put the pedal on the metal. I think it can be a danger for general managers, especially when you look at the Titans, right, and say, well, they've already added a center and a running back and a linebacker, and they've got 5 players that they've added to their team, and there's still 5 to 10 holes that you could probably need to go to in free agency. If you push too hard to be like, well, we have to go get the top guy at inside linebacker, we have to go get the top guy at cornerback, well, now you just are spending a lot of money just to spend money, and you still don't have a complete team. That goes into that level of what I'm saying here. The Texans are ready to go where they know that 3-4 pieces to their defense puts them in a position to not just repeat in the AFC South, but win a Super Bowl. I'm not sure Rand Carthon can look at his team and say that, and so there is no pressure to go blow for blow with your rivals.
Right, no doubt about it, but you're always paying attention. I completely agree with that. So where do the Titans go next? What position would you address or player?
Sure. Well, I think one that is going to come, I'm not sure if it's next, but I think they're going to get a backup quarterback here at some point.
Oh, who you got?
That was something that both Brian Callahan and Rand Carthon talked about a little bit at the NFL Scouting Combine. Rand said either in the draft or free agency, they will be adding another quarterback to this roster. Based on what I heard from Brian Callahan, I think it's likely to be a veteran. Keep an eye on Joe Flacco, boys. That would be the name that I watch out for as a potential Titans backup quarterback option. I think they would go and get another inside linebacker, and I think they are going to need to get a safety as well. We know they have already been linked to Justin Simmons, the former Denver Broncos safety, but you need a dancing partner for Amani Hooker back there. You need some experience and some depth in that secondary, and preferably a playmaker. Justin Simmons checks all of those boxes for me, and so I'd say safety, inside linebacker, backup quarterback is three that I see coming.
Here's the difference between me and you. How much would you pay for those guys? Like, I like Baker too, but I'm like, okay, how much are you willing to pay him for, and for how long?
Oh, man, that's a tough one to say, especially for a Baker. I think Simmons, you could probably afford a little bit of a budget. I think the quarterback, especially if you're looking at, what's the going rate for a good backup quarterback? $10 million, $12 million a year?
I think $7 million. Mariota just signed 7 or 8.
You're probably looking at a little bit more than Mariota, especially because he came in to be like a QB3, ideally, right? Because they have the number 2 pick over there in Washington. So that was kind of a peculiar one to me.
It was,
But if you're looking at 1 year, if you're looking at 1 year $10 million, 1 year $12 million for a Joe Flacco, I'm okay with that, only because I don't think you're gonna really take this cap space all the way down to the edge. As is, I don't think you spend all of it. And so on a short-term deal, I think you can do whatever. This is what we saw them do with Aziz last year and Sean Murphy-Bunting last year. 1 year prove-it deals for some guys. You might have to go a little bit more long-term for a Jerome Baker. So, yeah, I'm not sure what he's being valued at right now. That is the big question with it. What would you do, Blaine? I mean, is there a number you have?
I would go. Well, I'm not sure on the numbers. I haven't done all the research to tell you, but that's always the bottom line for me is I didn't think Awuzie should got $12 million from the Titans. I thought he was more of a $7 million, $8 million quality starter in this league. You start getting into 12, 13, that means he's better than that. Well, he was on the open market. Well, even for me at backup quarterback, I'm not spending $10 million. And I like Flacco as a backup quarterback, but I would go Joshua Dobbs level. And I'd go, okay, he would make, $2 million last year? Oh, if we paid him $4 million, he doubled down on his money, and we get a quality player. If put out there, we already know, we've seen him on film, that he can actually start in this league and do a good job, at least for 3 or 4 games. So that's kind of how I look at it. If you're going to be economical with backup, especially it's not a guy who's going to be performing game in and game out, I got to be cost effective in making sure that getting the right fit, and I understand who he is. I'm not sure of Flacco. I think Flacco, once you become a starter, you always believe you are a starter.
Yeah, I think, the backup quarterback, there's 2 really different philosophies with it. And it's very interesting to see how the Titans go with it, because one thing that Brian Callahan said during his media availability at the Combine that I referenced was number one thing he's looking for is a guy who's has the ability to play, potentially a guy with starting experience who you can trust to be your starter for a 2 to 3 game period necessary, right? And so, the ideal backup quarterback never plays a snap, but you have to be prepared depending on, if you have to get to that point. The Bengals saw just how valuable a backup quarterback can be. But that was the guy in Jake Browning, to your point, Blaine, that had not played before. He was a guy who, they liked how he fit in their system, but hadn't really proven anything at the NFL level. He would have been a very cheap backup option for anybody to sign. And there's a couple of those guys on the market, a Joshua Dobbs. Kyle Allen is out there as well as somebody who's, played before, but probably a career backup.
Yeah.
And then there are other teams that more prioritize, hey, we know that if whatever happens, 3 games with Joe Flacco at quarterback is not the end of the world, and he can give us some wins, and they're willing to pay for that. So a big question of this Titans offseason as we look at the resource management, as we look at the rest of the salary cap space, and like I said, I mean, those needs that I listed that I think could be coming down the pipeline, that's the tip of the iceberg with this team, man. Like there is so much left to do, and so I do think there's a good argument for, hey, $10 million for Joe Flacco, if that's dipping into 20% of your remaining salary cap space, maybe not the best use of resources.
Yeah, well, I'm going to just say this about Joe Flacco. When I watched him in the playoffs, he looked like a young quarterback, and he was throwing picks all over the place. A veteran quarterback does not do that, and that's why I don't like Joe Flacco. Mickey? Yeah.
And for that reason, you're out.
I'm out. So I like Flacco, but like those mistakes he made against the Texans in the playoffs, I can think about them right off the top. He can't make those. Not when you've been in this league and it has the resume that he's had. That just guess what? Levis could have done that. And see, that is not what I want out of my backup quarterback.
Like
I do
Flacco
not.
to me, though, is I think that I would push back on that just a little bit because I think it might be the reason he is an okay backup quarterback. He gives me, like, right now, this version of Joe Flacco gives me late career Ryan Fitzpatrick vibes, where any given day, Ryan Fitzpatrick could go for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. And you were like, oh, okay, Ryan Fitzpatrick is good today. But if he was your starter for too long of a period of time,
right, we wouldn't like him.
Yeah, that was me. At some point, he's going to bite you in the butt. And so, like, Joe Flacco, I think as a backup, I'm in on, because I think he can come and give you 3-4 games like he did with the Browns of productive offense that wins you football games. But if you were going into a playoffs with Joe Flacco as the quarterback, you would have to know at some point Joe Flacco is going to Joe Flacco and you're going to lose the game.
Exactly. There you have it. Sam Phalen.
Sam Phalen is always going to Sam Phalen. Hey, like 45 seconds. L'Jarius Sneed. Trade for him, trade assets, no trade, don't do it. What are you willing to do or not do for him?
Yeah, so I lean towards being out on this. And the main, not having a third-round pick really complicates things, obviously. Yeah. You don't want to give up that round 2 selection for L'Jarius Sneed, especially knowing that you're going to have to pay him if you trade for him. So it's kind of a double-edged sword there. If you had a third-round pick, I could maybe see it. I don't think a fourth-round pick gets it done, makes the negotiations really hard. If they'll take a future pick, maybe you consider it, but I have some worries as well, as much as I love his game, about a knee injury. And I know it doesn't pop on a stat sheet because you look and he played in just about every game throughout his career, but he was on the injury report in Kansas City almost every week with knee soreness or knee swelling. And the Chiefs did a really good job of monitoring it, but that gives me some hesitation where I'm like, do we give up a day 2 pick and a big contract to that guy if you're worried that could be a long-term problem? So I think I have more red flags with it and would probably avoid overspending on that sort of trade and sign type of deal.
Sam, always great stuff, man.
Sam.
At Sam_Phalen with a PH. Everybody needs to follow with an F. Sam there, A to Z Sports, Nashville. Thank you, sir. Always great catching up.
Yep.
All right, guys. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. The one and only Sam Phalen. All right, when we come back, the one and only final segment of this show, final wrap-up of free agency stuff as the new league year starts in about 18 minutes. What's the latest? We'll catch you up to date on everything on Blaine and Mickey. good or bad? What do you think?
Oh.
Everything becomes official in about 12 minutes. We'll synchronize our watches here. The new league year starts. I was looking. So the Chargers did a little bit of business today. They released Mike Williams, Khalil Mack. They restructured him.
So where's Joe Bosa?
Nothing yet.
Oh.
Apparently, those two moves put them under the cap.
No.
Yes.
So they don't even have to do anything with Joey Bosa.
Nothing right now with Bosa. Nothing right now with Keenan Allen. So
Bosa has some injury issues, though.
He does. He hasn't played very much the last couple of years, and he was on a trajectory for the moon at one point. So I thought, okay, I'm going to look, just because we got a little bit of time here. Here are, per Sports Illustrated, the top remaining free agents. Titans fans know some of these guys. Number 10 is one Jadeveon Clowney, who had a bit of a career resurgence last year in Baltimore. We were talking about this in the break.
9.5 sacks.
You said, if I was him, I'd just go back to Baltimore. Yeah. Like, he's got to kick the tires and try to make one more big payday.
Well, he's trying to get the Ravens to up the ante there.
31 years old. He 9.5 sacks, career best, 10-year veteran. He's played for 5 teams. Here's number 9, Christian Fulton. Number 9, available remaining NFL free agent per Sports Illustrated, yes. Number 8, immediately on the list is Mike Williams as soon as he got cut. They put him on here. He's 30, battled through injuries, has had a pair of 1,000-yard seasons, it says. Also coming off a torn ACL.
He's a no-can-do for me.
That was week 3, yeah.
Unless I get him, like, during the season.
Yeah.
For a veteran.
I'm sure.
I hate to say that, but, I mean, it's just he's a liability. He's a risk. He's a huge risk, I mean, with his injury history.
Number 7 on the list, you said the magic words, injury in history, one Tyron Smith, left tackle.
Yeah, we talked about him. I thought he played every game, man.
He has, in the past 8 seasons, he has never played more than 13 games, says Sports Illustrated. Dang!
No.
Number 6 is a gentleman who made the discussions earlier on this show. It is a position of need for the Titans. One, Stephon Gilmore, age 34 season, coming up. As you said, Blaine, this was a good poll. He was the 2019 Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah,
Stephon Gilmore. That's how good he was.
4 years ago.
Yes. Yeah, soon to be 5.
Hadn't he had a couple, it's like injury tweaks here and there?
I don't remember him so much. I just know
maybe not big things, but like small, like maybe like
like
small,
hamstrings and stuff. Yeah, as he's gotten older, once he left New England, but he's a no for me. I'd go for mid-range, Fulton, Fuller, guys that are available. He's gonna cost too much.
Number 5 on this list, best available remaining free agents after the entire legal tampering period will end in 9 minutes. Kendall Fuller, 29, was with the Chiefs in 2019 where he won a Super Bowl. And 4 years since with the Command Skins, he has largely been a corner. He has only missed 5 games. Kendall Fuller.
Watch this. Okay. He's been there 4 years at the Commanders.
Uh-huh.
Has our DC, didn't he coach during that time or no? No, he was with the Eagles, our DC, Wilson. And what was he? He was with the Ravens. So he was not with
Crosstown. They might have seen each other at daycare.
He was with them in the beginning of his coaching career.
Yep.
Dang it. Wish we had a little insight on Fuller. I want to like him, but they just showed him on TV. He got beat by somebody on a post route. It was the highlights for the other guy. Just happened to be Fuller right there.
Okay. Number 4, we have had multiple discussions about him. One, Hollywood Brown, who's supposed to be a fast guy and averages like 10 yards per catch. I think we all agree we're out on him, although he's still available. Yeah. The free agent wide receiver market has not just been crazy.
Well, okay. If I bring it in for $7 million, I'm cool.
You're all in on $7 million.
I'm cool. I'm cool. But Hollywood is a great college player, just okay wide receiver for me in the NFL.
Well,
there's not enough. I know he's got the name and everybody, but if you watch him real close, go watch him in games. He's not a change. He's not better than NWI. I'm going to just say it. He could be faster and all that, but he's not a better overall player than him.
All right, real quick, because we're running low on time here. Number 3 is guard Kevin Zeitler, who has been with the Ravens, now 34. Guards are making crazy money.
I know.
$20 million a year for guards, but that's the price of doing business. Number 2, Chase Young, who is set to visit with the Titans, is number 2 on this list of Sports Illustrated. And number 1, still not, well, I guess there's some business to be worked out. as well, 7 minutes or so, Calvin Ridley. Because his deal turns from a second to a third?
To a third, right at 3 after 3 o'clock. So he's gotten some offers from New England, but I'm pretty sure his camp has just kind of been ignoring them. Maybe not ignoring, but not really listening. And I know he's expressed interest in wanting to go back to Jacksonville, as if they expressed interest of wanting him back. So it'd be interesting to see what that money would look like, considering the money they already have tied up in the wide receiver room.
Yeah.
I like his skill set, but what do you think he's asking for?
I would say probably close to 20.
What does
I had to guess?
What does Kirk make? 18? Because remember, that's what broke the market.
Christian Kirk.
I think it's 18.
Was it 18 last year? Well, that was last year. There's 2 years ago market, right?
Yeah, I think when he signed for 18, and that broke everybody's compass for what they're worth, because it's like, this guy's primary.
4 for 72.
Okay. 18. So if I'm him, I'm like, I got to make more than that guy.
That was
20
2 years ago.
21, 22.
See, I can't do it.
Tell you what we can do. We can get out of here because it's time for 3HL. League year officially starts in about 5 minutes. All the deals become official. They can catch up on everything. Maybe the Titans will make another move. The one move today was bringing back Julius Chestnut, if you haven't heard, on a 1-year deal. Yeah. Chestnut roasting on an open fire right here in Tennessee again.
So in the meantime.
In between time.
Peace.